It's our show.
It's a put a program together, had to learn to use the cameras.
Now, Mr. Hammond.
Going down.
All right, welcome to Ecologic for the beautiful month of October. We've had fabulous weather until last night. Make the cane farmers happy. The wind blew all the cane down. We're fortunate to have with us Mr. Nick Gautreaux, the head of the Abbeville Auburn Terminal. Nick, welcome.
Well, thank you, Mr. Harrell. Thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Tell us about what Abbeville Auburn Terminal is doing right now.
Well, most people may know it as the Port of Vermilion, but originally in 1954, there was an act by the legislature that created the Abbeville Harbor and Terminal and created its district. And it grew.
Do you all collect a tax for it?
There's a millage that is attached to it. It's the same millage that's been on it since the initial, back in 1970 something. The millage was passed, I believe. It's like 3.2 mils. So it amounts to about $300 and something thousand that's collected. Some people look at it and say, "Oh, it's 500,000," but the reality is, by the time you pay other things that are required constitutionally, that they take out, like for the assessors, they take out for parochial, the sheriff's retirement, all these different things come out of your pool of money. And that's not just ours, that's everybody's. We normally collect about $383,000.
Confederate veterans are in there.
Sir?
The Confederate veterans are in there.
Well, that's a good job. I'm not sure, but they could be. So, but anyhow, when I got there, that was interesting because I always saw that there was a dollar amount that the assessor said we were supposed to collect, but we never collected that dollar amount. And so I finally put a spreadsheet together. It was pretty comprehensive, and I've got it down now. Like when they say, "Hey, you're going to collect 433,000," the reality is we might only collect 393,000 by the time we finish. So,
Yeah.
and of course, you have homestead exemption that comes out of that, and like for our portion, our gross tax might have been like millage might have generated $400 and something thousand, $500,000, $100,000 right off the top comes for homestead exemption.
And someone to tell us who the principal, I know the Coast Guard's there.
Well, I'll tell you the major clients that we have there just kind of started off from the beginning. Like I said, in 1954 was the act that created the territory. 1978, the legislature expanded the boundaries. When they expanded the boundaries around early 1980s, everybody's familiar with Intracoastal City. Intracoastal City was growing and it was really, really busy at the time. Of course, the late 80s is when the oil crash came and things began to decline. But what happened is the first group of people that were there are actually Abbeville Lumber. If you're familiar, they built living quarters. There's a bunch of other companies now that have bought the living quarters, or should I say build living quarters. Abbeville Lumber ended up being Abbeville Offshore, but then Abbeville Offshore ended up selling to Stallion. So Stallion's today is still there, Stallion's there. But our longest really running tenant that's pretty much the same company in a way is Gulf Coast Marine. Originally was probably Continental Sandblasting, then Gulf Coast Marine came in and bought them, and they've been there since the mid-1980s, so they're one of our longest standing tenants. And I'll tell you that they've been doing really well. The Moncaw family ended up buying it from the Motti family, and so they've been operating it for, I'd imagine, probably about 7 years now. So it seems like they're doing really well. We also have Grand Isle Shipyard. Grand Isle Shipyard, they probably employ 5,000 to 6,000 people throughout Louisiana. They continue to grow. They've been there since the late 1980s. So they started small, but now they're one of our largest tenants, if not our largest tenant that actually leases property from us. We also have the Coast Guard cutter. Used to be Pelican was the first one stated. That was about 2000, I think, 2001.
Yeah.
Pelican was about 2004 when they came, because I remember I just got elected in the Senate, and I invited Senator Neil Reiser at the time was there. He was from Columbia. I had met him, and now he's a representative now. But he came in for the christening of the cutter, and now it was the Pelican. Now it is the Yellowfin is the name of it. So they do a lot of strategic operations out of there. I know not long ago they go all the way down, past Texas towards Mexico. They go wherever they got to go to get things done, wherever the government sends them. But these guys run a great operation there. They also, of course, you know that if someone in the Gulf of Mexico, because you fish a lot, right?
Yeah.
If you get in a little trouble, it's nice to know that the Coast Guard's there to come get you. And these are the guys that do that, are the people right out of Vermilion Parish. So it's strategically located. It's one of probably the most important ones where it's located at, because you can get from the east, you can get to the west pretty handily. So we also have a new company, Mr. Harrell. I say new, probably 4 or 5 years old. We're actually building them a building right now. They're called Clean Gulf and Associates. They've been at the port, and now they're going to have a new building. Hopefully within the next 4 months it'll be completed.
You're going to be leasing the building to them?
Yes, we'll be leasing the building. They currently lease the lots right now, and they have a little small office building there. They actually have big boats that they operate. They're a nonprofit organization made up of all member companies are people like Exxon, Shell, Emirata Hess, the large companies, and smaller companies, Talos Energy, which is a larger company too. They're all members of that organization. So the people that run it have a board of directors made up of those member companies. And what they are created pretty much during the all spill response. They're the first to get there to evaluate what's going on and also do the all spill response. So they're pretty vital to this to the environment. I know you're an environmentalist, and you're pretty vital to being a first responder and being first on the scene and making sure that it gets contained.
Will the dredging of the freshwater bayou help you?
The dredging of freshwater bayou, Intercoastal Canal. So
No.
Well-
The dredging from the port,
yeah,
it includes intercoastal.
right.
They're building a new system of gates in the bypass channel.
So we originally built the bypass channel. We originally built the bypass channel. The bypass channel gates were double gated. Gordy Dove, it's called the Bubba Dove, is the name of the actual gate that's in Houma. That's something similar that the Port of Iberia is interested in applying to get through the one of the bills in federal and Congress. What they've done is they've had some extra money that was left over from the Intercoastal Canal, the dredging that they did there. They came in, and where the bypass channel is, it had silted up a lot of that area. So all that has been
both sides.
all of that has been dug out and cleaned, and we still had the port still had our existing spall area that we could actually put the spalls in. So they did that, and so the goal now is if we can get a wider barge gate or gate that's wider than the 126 feet we have, it allows economically these companies to bring in goods on a larger scale.
The Panama Canal, I think, is 98 feet wide. So, and the original lots was only 85 feet wide.
Right.
So they were building I was working with OOP, and in a public meeting, a crabber came up with the idea of a bypass. And we were looking at dredging across the bay and across Tiger Shoal to get these deep draft. These projects were going to Alaska. And so anyway.
That was one. Didn't Arco have a big project there? I was just looking at a book just recently. I think it was Arco. There was a little
It was Arco.
proposal that was done. I saw. We still have that if you're interested in reading it. One thing about Mr. Jay Campbell was the port director prior to I was there. He was there for 37 years. And by the way, he said to tell you hi. I think
Yeah.
you have a little bit of history, but. He was there for 37 years and pretty much helped stabilize the port where it got today. Like anything else, if you had a lot more money, you could have made things grow a lot more than what they are. But what they did is they grew and they paid for the majority of it. But going back to your question, will it help us? I think it'll help us, but really and truly, to help us is there are bends in the river to get to our port. What people don't realize where our port is, if you know where Palmetto State Park is, our port is like maybe bounds up against Palmetto State Park. It's really only probably a half a mile as a crow flies from each other. And the old Banker Ferry used to be right there if you cross the Banker Ferry.
Yeah, that's on the downstream side from you.
That's correct.
Banker Ferry.
Yeah, that would be, of course, would be on the west side, and the east side would actually be Banker and the little Gautreaux. If people are on the religious side, you see the old graveyard, and it's a beautiful place to go. If you haven't been there, go there. It's pretty nice. But for us, if we can remove the bends in the river, it allow not only our current tenants, but it also allow like Acadiana Contractors, Broussard Brothers, to also bring in larger projects also. So I still think they're still going to be able to. There's still going to be a benefit of what there is, but I think there's a larger benefit if the bends in the river are taken out. So that would be our goal. That was part of our master plan. That's pretty much probably a major part of the master plan that has not been done yet, but it's the most costly.
You have two bends that have been taken out, run right at Intercoastal, and the other was right at Palmetto Park.
Right. But we have a bunch more. We have like 4 of them that are between the port and getting out to the Intercoastal, which would, like I said, be really beneficial for us as a port and for our tenants.
Because right now, I guess if you had 3 more barges, you couldn't make those bends.
That's correct. That's right. So what happens, it seems like the economics now, what these companies are doing, they're stacking these barges a lot more than what they did prior. It's not just 1 or 2 barges. It's if they can, whatever they can fit on these larger barges is what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
It saves them on transportation costs, which sounds right and sounds efficient. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you see for the future of the port?
Well, for the future of the port, I believe that,
What percentage, if you were, Craig was here a couple of months ago, he was bragging that they had 99% of their property leased. What would be the percentage of your available property?
Well, right now, we're probably 90% leased up. We tend to hold a couple lots for our existing tenants so they can actually grow. We have probably 2 lots, 3 lots that are probably somewhat available, but one of those 3 is actually right next door to Grand Isle Shipyard, which we'd like to keep because they are one of the growing parts of the business. We also have, I forgot to mention, industrial scrap. Original, it used to be scrap was Mr. Cummings had the scrap metal place there, and he sold it. And industrial scrap is kind of like a division of Grand Isle Shipyard, and so they do a lot of scrap there, and they're a growing business also. So forgot them as a tenant as far as the port goes there, but I can foresee that if someone's interested, we're probably the best kept secret there around. If you're looking for something to be on the water, you're looking for something that's going to be bulkheaded, and you're looking for, when a hurricane comes, you don't have to worry about your property. The port didn't flood during any of the hurricanes, nor have any damage. So I think it's really important for people to realize.
Yeah, we had a big crewboat type vessel that tied on, and we kept it there at the port.
Yeah, often we find, I know that our tenants will call us and let us know sometimes that, hey, like for example, there'll be some shrimp boats that sometimes we see in the back of Grand Isle shipyards slip, but I think they have the conversation with our tenants. I know that there's sometimes no place for people to dock their boats or bring their boats in, but one thing I've learned is that when when a storm's coming, you'll see a lot of the shrimp boats are coming towards the Perry Bridge.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of them stacked up. The smaller ones are stacked up there. The larger ones, of course, are not stacked up there. I think a lot of these shrimpermen, they probably weather the storm on their own boats, the larger boats, should I say.
You familiar with some of the plans that your compadres are putting together for Vermilion Parish? They're talking about minimizing the 4-mile cut with some kind of gate.
I'm familiar with the levee projections of where certain gates are going to go. Shannon Never is a young lady who I went to school with, and she's actually married to my friend and childhood friend, Kevin, and she's really actively involved. And she was at the meeting that your wife and you attended that I think y'all were probably some of the original board members or started that
Yeah,
group.
we started that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how many years ago you started that, but they keep me, she keeps me abreast of what's going on with that. And like I said, we're, of course, interested, of course, because we have our tenants at the port, and we want to make sure that they have, available access 24 hours to get their supplies in and out and their projects in and out.
Do you get along with the Fassions?
Of course I do. Some of them
They're
went
kind of
to,
your neighbors across the way from you?
well, the Fashions, they went to Mo, some of the, Henry and them went to Mo High School. I was a lot younger, of course, but I remember them. They were probably seniors when I was probably in 4th grade or 2nd grade. But yes, Mr. Fashaw used to call me often.
Yeah. He was kind of a Republican, huh?
Yeah, so well, the good thing about me is I get along with everybody, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or independent. I think, I served in Governor General's administration in his cabinet and served there for 2 years. And of course, Governor Blanco was a governor also at the time that I was there in the legislature. So.
Did you get along with Foster?
Well, actually, I met Mike a few times, but when I was running for election, I ran against an incumbent, and for the Senate, I guess I was 34 at the time. And Mike Foster, about 2 weeks before the election, he put a letter in the newspaper endorsing the current senator at the time. So needless to say, I had a few choice words at that time, but actually I liked the man. Once I met him, I pretty much appreciated him. I think he was comes from a good background, and I think what you saw is what you got.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know him well. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Sarah's lived right next door to Murphy. Murphy Sr.,
Right. Yeah, it's true. Sarah was telling me she grew up in Franklin, Louisiana, and I was telling her that a bunch of friends and families that I remember from there. I went to high school at Vermilion. Well, Mo consolidated with Mo Maurice and Indian Bayou, and we created Vermilion, and we created a football team at the time because we were Class A school at the time. And I met John Patrick Musso, which is Dr. Musso's son. He became a very good friend of mine, and sometimes I would drive over there in high school when we had a break. And I was telling your wife that I still remember where I saw Purple Rain. I don't know if you ever saw the movie, but Prince's Purple Rain. I forgot the name of the theater. I want to say the Nona Theater, but it's not the Nona Theater, but it's the theater.
It would have been the Tesh or the Center.
I don't know if it's the Tesh or I don't remember the name of it, but it was the little long narrow theater in Franklin that we went to. So that would be about 45 years ago. So about 45. No, about 42 years ago. I was about 16 years old at the time. So
right now they are planning a gate. They'll remove both of the barges, and they're planning a gate in that bypass. And it is funded by the same funds that they allow them to dredge the channel from Iberia. It includes the intracoastal. They got to bring the intracoastal to 16 feet, and freshwater by to 16 feet.
it's going to be, it's not going to be right away, but it's a long ways off.
No, they're dredging it now.
No, I'm talking about the gate part of it.
They're doing it now.
They took the gates off meant it to actually make sure that they were actually in good shape, the current ones that we have, that we build.
Yeah, you see, there was a crabber that recommended that, and it was in a public meeting, and strong believer in the public meetings because somebody out there has an idea that you didn't think of. And and this guy came up with a suggestion. He says, I don't know why y'all doing this. Y'all gonna spend $30-40 million dredging across the bay and across Tiger Shoal when you ought to be going around the locks
Right.
with a half-a-mile canal.
Well, a lot of people talk about, at Freshwater Bayou and talk about the bypass channel and stuff, and you talk about, of course, when you go down it, you're protected all the way in
Oh, yeah.
protected waters.
Yeah.
And no one understands that, if you're a business, you don't have to go through the Gulf. You can come through that
Yeah.
and actually be protected in protected waters. I know a lot of people fish out of our area, and that's something you may not know or some people know. I think your boys and your nephews know that because they actually go hunting in that area, and they use our boat launch. We have a boat launch that Abbeville Harbor and Terminal owns, and that boat launch.
It's a coastal city.
That's in Coastal City, correct. And it's a very nice launch if you've been there, of course,
Yeah.
multiple times, right?
Yeah.
So we have some projects that are actually fixing to happen in that area. We're fixing
My
to.
scouts planted those oak trees.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Well, I think the saltwater kind of did a little damage to their growth. I think they're.
No, they're doing
No,
fine.
they're doing fine still?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you check them every once in a while?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
just recently, a couple of
gotcha.
weeks ago.
I know there was one that had failed during one of the storms, but anyhow, they
When
came
you
out.
see that orange rope, I put that there.
I got you. The ones that you planted, the large one on the actual intercoastal canal right there in the Vermilion, right there where they meet. You planted
No.
those? No.
No.
That was the existing one.
They had one existing,
Okay.
but all the rest of them we planted
Well, good. Well, we appreciate it. That was a good project. How long ago you planted those?
about 10 years ago.
10 years ago? I was going to say it takes a long time for oak trees to grow, huh?
No,
No?
not those. We're working with, usually get these trees donated from Mike Richard.
Okay.
With-
All right. Well, just to let you know, at the boat launch, where the pavilion is, you're familiar where the pavilion is? We're going to actually be dredging that area that's probably not been dredged probably in 40 years or so. We're going to dredge that area and also where the slip is, because on low water, when we had all this, wintertime, we had all this low water, it caused some problems with people, so we had to actually stake off the channel for people to get out. But that's all going to be dredged, and we're actually going to have a project that we wrote a grant with Wildlife and Fisheries to do the dredging part of it, but also we're going to add from a pier that goes out into the water from the pavilion. We're going to add a few other things and items to.
You got a mud flat out there.
Correct. It's been there a long time where that stick is actually sticking up with that tree. I call it a stick because it's not as big as it used to be, but that's been there for years.
Yeah.
So we're going to dredge out to that area, so hopefully that works out. And we're also going to be doing some dredging at the port for the.
So you getting blamed for the Cajun Navy, huh?
I don't get blamed for the Cajun Navy. Which one? The original one was made up of volunteers who brought their boats, and some people went to academy and bought a boat just to be part of it. And anyhow, it was a pretty, I don't want to say exciting time. It was a sad time, but it was also an exciting time for people in Acadiana, whether you were a doctor, a lawyer, a priest, working class person, a janitor, whoever it was, teacher, college students participated in the caravan to go and rescue people down in New Orleans and St. Bernard area.
And they've been prominent in every kind of disaster that involved water.
Yes, well,
They were in Tennessee. And
well, those are spin-offs. So the original was we were just volunteers. We never asked for donations or anything like that. The spin-off was a group of people who actually they started doing that type of stuff, so I don't really know any of those people, I'll be quite honest with you, so I'm often asked that. All I do is I just distinguish ourselves that we were a group of citizens throughout Acadiana area, that we did not ask for donations, nor did we ask for any publicity. I don't think you saw me too often on television preaching about what we did.
Yeah.
I think the only time I was on television about what we did was when David Begnaud decided to do a 10-year, I don't know, he called it a reunion or 10-year anniversary of the Cajun Navy, and really was of, not Cajun Navy, but of
This
Katrina.
is the David Begnaud that is with the press and nationally prominent.
This is David Begnaud, that's here from Louisiana. He's on Channel 10, not Channel 10, but he is a news reporter, and he's on the national news on Channel 10. So he does a lot of reporting. He did a lot of stuff in Puerto Rico when all that was going on during that storm. But David is local. I think he may have went to, I don't want to say out, I think he may have went to Turlington, I'm not sure. But anyhow, he's a great reporter, though.
We have a David Begnaud that works here. In fact, he should be here, but he's off somewhere camping, you know.
Well, it was, a lot of people talk about Katrina, but the reality is, Hurricane Rita, 3 or 4 weeks later, hit my area and really put 2/3 of Vermilion Parish underwater. And so, I think the difference between the two storms is not so much what the storm's done. The difference was because the difference between, I think it's a difference between rural versus city people. Rural area people tend to be able to help themselves and be able to do things themselves. And, the neighbors, the citizens helped each other. Of course, we're not heavily as populated as other areas are, like St. Bernard and New Orleans was, but our area was devastated. But we recovered from that. You look, we did a program that helped raise people's homes, and if you go in the rural areas of Henry and you go to the church, if you go to St. John Church there, you go to the church, you actually get to see. It was raised up, and it's nice, but you also see a bunch of homes that, of course, that's taxpayers' dollars that help fund all that to raise those homes. But it kind of makes sense, because if you buy flood insurance and you flood 3 times, by the time you flood 3 times, you've probably paid out more than it would be to raise your home. So it's worked well for a lot of people who want to still live down there.
Yeah, but you can go to Intercoastal or Henry and all those areas. Intercoastal, I don't think I have 50 people left in it.
Intercoastal doesn't really have many people left, and to be honest with you, it's there's a couple businesses that actually seem to be doing really well, because you can look at the businesses and it's really all field businesses, but it's not like it was back in the 80s and the 70s.
Shrimping businesses.
No, shrimping business is big.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people are familiar with Zapata Haney back in the day, right? Which is Menhaden. They catch, and so they're one of the largest employers in that area that continue to. They're there, but they're also growing.
There's an article in, I think, today's paper that shows Menhaden fishing doesn't cause any problems for redfish.
Well, and I know you're a conservationist about that, and as a legislator, we will always, you have to try to balance the need of commercial fishermen and also recreational. Of course, the recreation are going to say you're killing all this, but my understanding is there was a couple studies that were done by independent people of lately that just do that fact of what you're saying, is that it's a lot less, their byproduct or their byproduct catch is a lot less than what people actually. What people don't understand, I think sometimes we actually catch more fish than they probably do, as far as fish that we like. So I think there's a bunch of different factors environmentally why fishing was where it is today. But for us, it'd be nice if the water stayed salty all the time.
Yeah.
At least south of the intercoastal. So.
Yeah, but that's a mixing zone.
Right. Yeah.
Which is really important for the whole fisheries,
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that sometimes it's completely fresh, sometimes it's around, the highest the bay gets is about 18 parts per thousand.
Well, I know when we're doing our crawfish ponds, a lot of times we're glad we got all this rain just recently so we could actually use some of the water out of the canals to actually pump. So some of our crawfish
Well,
ponds.
you got Vermilion that's pumping. And when you have a drought, they pump in full blast, which kind of is a real problem.
We also, just to let you know, the port has a building downtown that they bought and remodeled many years ago, back in probably 1990s or whatever, and it was a.
That's the old Molyneux Clinic.
Yes, sir, sure was. That's right. So, of course, my mom actually was about to deliver my sister there, and then she went there to deliver, but they ended up taking her to another hospital. But anyhow, pretty interesting place or whatever. We do have, I didn't mention, we have Primo and Associates, and that's Primo, Tuchet, and Suarez as the newest partner in their engineering firm. Their engineering firm bought out Mr. L. Ray Scheck's engineering firm probably 25 years ago, back in probably 2000.
I was in school with Ellery.
You were, and so he's been the port engineer for years, and so Primo, Tuchet, and Suarez they've been the port engineer since they bought the business. So they actually are housed on one of the floors upstairs in our office. And the other side of the office, we have an attorney, Bart Broussard, who has one of the suites, and then downstairs we have the senator and state representative, Senator Hinchkins, who does a good job for us, and also Representative Boriak, Ron Boriak, who does a great job also. He's chairman of chairman of Transportation, and Senator Hinchkins is chairman of Natural Resources. So two good people that done a good job working not only with us as the port, but also with other people within the state. So.
And you spending your time in the legislature, you know how that game works.
Well, I don't know if it's a game or what it is, but yes, I understand how it works. Do I like the way it works sometimes? Absolutely not, but there's a lot of good people that get elected to do the right thing, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I've worked a lot with Foster Campbell and the senator from Lake Charles and the senator from Opelousas.
Okay. Well, we want people to know, though, if you hunt or you fish, a lot of people, there's still a lot of people that don't even realize that the Intercoastal Boat Launch is there.
Yeah.
They're welcome to come there multiple ways. We charge a $5 fee to dock your boat or park your boat or park and boat. It's just $5 no matter what. It's not 10, it's 5. And you can pay with a Park Hub app. We have an app that just like you do when you go in a big city.
Yeah.
You can pay before you go. All you do is put 70510 as that's our actual area code, but that's the location for it. Or you can come to the office if you hunt. Your nephews and maybe one of your boys, I believe they buy permits from us at the office. So you buy a permit.
How much do you pay for a permit?
1 year permit is $100 for the whole entire year, and
You have something you can hang on your windshield?
you don't hang it. It's per vehicle. It's a sticker that actually goes on your right above your I don't want to say brake tag. That's what they call them in New Orleans, but
Yeah.
inspection sticker. So anyhow, so they do that, and we also have, if you only hunt there the last 6 months of the year, we have a 6-month permit you could buy for $60. But we've been fortunate to be able to maintain the place. I don't know if you've been there lately, but it's pretty immaculate. It's always well groomed, and it's really a nice facility. So whether you're in Lafayette, Opelousas, we have a lot of people we see from St. Landry Parish that actually dock their boats there. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a well-run facility, a real asset to Acadiana.
But you were talking about the port. What people, and I always said that, we're probably the best kept secret because, number one, when you look at what we charge to lease some of the property where we are, we have a really, really good fair price for businesses. But more importantly, the businesses that are there create about 350 jobs to 400 jobs. And when you look at the annual payroll, you look at it anywhere from $30 to $40 million in annual payroll.
Wow.
So, or let's say 25 to 35 in annual payroll. So when you look at economically the amount of money that's invested, whether it be your millage, the millage tax that's on there, which is about 300-some,000. It's the best return on investment that you have on probably any entity that's a government entity. And if you read a little bit about ports, you realize that their economic impact to the state and to the local economy.
Y'all get some help
really
from the
good.
state?
Do we get help from the state?
Yeah.
Well, if our senator or representative, which they do, like Senator Hinchins and Representative Boriak, and got us some money to do some of the dredging, we were able to do that. We also,
But don't you have some continuous support from the state?
no, we don't have any continuous support from the state. No, we sure don't. We're kind of on our own. We can apply for different programs. We can apply for a port priority program to try to get money to build something, but we have to meet certain economic standards. If we don't meet those economic standards, then we're not going to get the money to be able to do the project. But as far as income that comes in from the state, the only thing that we have is the state revenue sharing that was set up back when they originally organized the actual port. It's about, we get $10,000 a quarter. Not even a quarter, really, every third of the year. So we get about $30,000, and that's it. That would be the only thing that we know from state revenue sharing will be it.
So how do y'all get along with the Port of Delcom?
Twin Parish ports?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good with them. I mean, everybody works together. I think what people don't realize is really the ports don't compete. Everybody has a different, I know they tried in the legislature and they want to do this, but you can't really group all the ports together. Because everybody has their own specialty of what they're doing. Some overlap, some don't, but even if they don't, for example, we do a lot of fabrication, but we also house the Coast Guard cutter. We also have the stallion that's there that does a little bit different than the fabrication part of it. I guess they do build living quarters and other things. But you have those type of companies, whereas Twin Parish Port, they may not have as many fabricators as we have. And they may do something totally different. So it may be shipbuilding, it may be small boats, it may be different items like Port of Iberia does a wide, diverse group of things. They do a lot of different things. So.
Yeah. In fact, they got a big crane operation, electric crane.
Yeah, they got a big E-crane. They sure do.
E-crane.
Yeah, it's powerful. Yep, I think that was one of the programs they probably wrote to get some type of help to get it based on the number of jobs. When we do all this, it's all based on the number of jobs that people are producing. So when you hear, for example, like the big mega center that they're building in North Louisiana that is being built, when you look at what they're doing there, they all look at jobs and what jobs are created and how much that allows them to say this is how much money they can get for a project. When we do our projects, are very similar to that, but some on a smaller scale than that, of
You
course.
work with the Louisiana Office of that tracks the industry. I mean,
Economic development.
economic development. Yes.
They send us emails and stuff. They are now part of the. They're integrated with the Department of Transportation multimodal office now. So like when we do a project, the project actually gets run through not only DOT's multimodal, but it also gets run through them. They all look at the economics of it to give a stamp of approval for the project.
Every year they had the big oil show in Houston.
Yeah, they'll send us emails of letting us, and most of them are confidential emails, of course, but letting us know certain companies are looking for certain size land or if we have anything like that available. So what people need to also understand is like the port, we're here. If we don't have a building that's there, but there's somebody that wants to come in, I always think of it this way, the port, if we can use our capital to help you get into business, if you come in and the project works, we're able to build it and lease it to you and have hopefully a long-term relationship with the business.
You know O'Neill Marlboro?
Sure, you sure did. I called him on my way up here.
Yeah.
He's a character. Well, you should get him on your show because
Right.
you wouldn't have to do anything.
Right.
You could just step to the side and O'Neill would just speak to the camera for everybody. So, and I know some people are probably wondering why I look to the side. Miss Sarah's right there, and I tend to, I'm in a habit when I talk to the audience, I see everybody, and I talk to everybody there, so.
Because he helped me with, Gordon had a pipeline and tore up his little unit and all that, and prop and everything, and I knew O'Neill would know who those pipelines were.
Yeah, well, where was he at?
He was right by the Vermilion camp,
Okay,
and they had 3 or 4 lines, and the problem is that they're dredging and they're replacing the lines that are in the path of the, that have to be either removed or taken out, you know.
right,
But the channel is only 150 feet wide, the dredge channel. So these pipes were in the shallow part, you know, and parts of that canal is, you know, were probably 1,000 feet wide.
well,
So
no,
it's the 4-mile cut that was dredged 8 by 100 feet in 1950.
so O'Neill found the answer for you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta, and then the Hillcock was good about it. They sent us a check, made an estimate, you know, and so
Right,
they did the right thing. No argument with them.
that's good.
So if you did have a client that, like for instance, the Henry Hub, what's going on with the Henry Hub?
Well, the Henry Hub is actually not in our port district. It's actually, believe it or not, it's in Twin Parish Ports District.
Yeah,
Twin Parish Ports District actually goes all the way up to the northern portion of the Vermilion River where I live, actually. But the Henry Hub is, I mean, sure most people know at one time 30% of the nation's oil and gas flowed through the Henry Hub. And some people were wondering, you know, why is that so important? Well, if you lived in North America, northern portion of the United States, when wintertime came, if the Henry Hub would shut down, people would freeze up there.
yeah.
I mean, that's what people don't realize is all the intertwines of all the pipelines and where they go and where they're located at, and that's in significance. And I'm sure everybody knows that it's the spot price for
For
natural gas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
we were driving up in Montana, and we'd heard the report from Henry Hub.
Yep, sure is. But it's still the same. It's still there.
If somebody came to you, they need 100 acres, is there property around you that's available?
We have property near us, near the port, but remember, as long as it's within our port district, we can do what we need to do to help that business, whether it be us participating in there to build it, and if the economics work, we're able to get the money to do it. We're more than happy to do that. We want the more businesses that can come, the better off we are. But at our current existing port, like I said, we do have some space available. We do have one building that we have available currently right now. It's off of Highway 685, I believe it is. It's the highway that goes to the port. And if you take a right, you would, when you go down there, you're on 82 and you go down there. If you take a left and you go towards the port, if you take a right, you go to Palmetto State Port. But if you keep going right, Doucette Grain at one time had you know what I'm talking about? They actually had a grain. They were going to plan on shipping soybeans.
Yeah.
And that's when the crash of the soybeans and all that happened. So it was pretty much, I guess, assumed bad timing at that time. That was probably in the 80s. But that piece of property we still have a building. At one time, Tanner Construction was actually on that piece of property. So we have that. It's actually frontage on the Vermilion River. It has a older building, metal building with a shop on the back of it. It's available. It's one of our pieces that we do have. So we have a, if you haven't been there and you're a business, welcome to give me a call. Our phone number is 337-893-9465. You can call us at the port, or you can call my cell number, 337-319-0085. We'd be happy to show you what we have and see if your business has interest there coming, and we'd love to have you.
So are you familiar with some of these projects Vermilion Parish is planning? I think one of them is to build a rock weir from, I think, Boston to Mud Point.
So all the plans, Shannon keeps me abreast of all those. I'm not on those committees, so I really just get an update if they come give us an update, but I'm aware of that. I did want to say something before we, break, because I might forget, is I want to say our board is made up of 6 members that are volunteer members. So they don't get paid.
Yeah.
They're not paid, and so some people don't understand that. But what I do want to say is most of our board members have been there a long time. Mr. Wayne LeBlue is our current longest-serving board member. He's been there over 40-something years, and he's still there. I think he's in his 80s. I won't say that, but I just said it. But we also have Mr. Tim Cresswell, who just recently died. He was one of the longest ones who had been there for 30-somewhat years himself. But Mr. Wayne's been there since the inception.
So Tim passed away.
Yes, Tim passed away. He sure did.
He's a good friend of mine.
He was big with the Red Cross at one time, a long time ago. And of course, Mr. Tim did a lot of stuff with OEP and during the storms, but he was a board member.
Was General LeBlanc involved with y'all?
No, he wasn't involved with us. And then another board member that we have is Mr. Bud Zombrecker, who's been there probably 10 years or so. And then we have Patrick Duyon, which is Duyon All.
Yeah.
Patrick's on our board. He's the youngest one on our board, and he does a really great job. And a lot of our board members are veterans. And I'm just going to mention this, that Patrick's is a veteran, and he came back home and went work in the family business, and he joined the board, and he's very good at what he does for us. And probably one of the other people that we currently have right now is Mr. Carlton Campbell. Familiar with Mr. Carlton?
Yeah.
He is he used to work for the clerk of court's office, but he's also was a city councilman. He's currently the councilman at large, but he's been on our board pretty long also. And he does a great job because he brings that background of government and the political side of it. Patrick brings that business side of it. And then Mr. Jimmy Steen, anybody familiar with Steen Syrup?
Yeah.
He's the current president of the board, and he does a great job. He's a businessman also. So really our board is made up of business people and people who work either in the oil field or have that type of background. And Mr. Tim, we just replaced his. We just replaced his Mr. Tim's position with Mr. Mike Bertrand. You remember Mr. Mike Bertrand, who was the police jury secretary at one time?
Yeah.
And the register of voters for Vermilion Parish. So he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge. Government goes, budgeting goes, and a whole bunch of other things. So we look forward. We have a great board. They've been stable.
Sure do.
They've been stable. So
when did Tim Cresswell pass away?
Tim passed away probably about 4 months ago.
Wow.
4. Yeah, it could be almost 4 or 5 months. 4 months ago, I believe. So his passing was not a shock because he had been struggling of recent. But like I said, he was still coming to his meetings up till probably, I guess, 3 months before he died, actually, to be honest with you. He had missed a few meetings and he came back. And Tim, if anybody knows Tim, he was pretty direct. And anyhow, but that's what I think about my board. Everybody brings something different.
Yeah.
But when they say something and they listen, it means a lot because I don't think Port of Vermilion and Abbeville Harbor and Terminal, which are one and the same, by the way. Port of Vermilion is what a lot of people know it as, but the official name is Abbeville Harbor and Terminal is the actual umbrella. But because of their conservatism of how they handled monies and how they directed the port, we've been able to stay financially stable when a lot of times government needed more taxes. We didn't need more taxes. We've actually increased our self-generated money where we now exceed what we get from the millages. So.
Wow. So your fiscal house is in order.
We do our best to keep it in order, absolutely. We've done some investing different ways, but more importantly, to grow the port, to grow it, we need the businesses that come, and we need the businesses who have ideas and want to come, and they think that they're not capable of having a bulkheaded waterfront property because it's too expensive. We'd like them to come see us, but I think we're very affordable. Don't tell this to Craig,
Yeah.
but we can say it right here. We're a lot less expensive than the Port of Iberia. So. And we're actually closer to the Gulf.
Yeah, you are.
So we're interested and exciting to see what the new prospects of the dredging of the intercoastal and also freshwater bayou, of how that's going to affect the port and how it's going to affect our private enterprise. Because a lot of times people forget, look, there's these private businesses that are in our port district, but those businesses also need infrastructure, and if we can help with the infrastructure, we're going to help with the infrastructure. But dredging, that type of thing, or taking out bends in the river, it's going to take help from the federal government, help from the state, because it would be cost prohibitive for a small entity like us to be able to do that by ourselves.
Yeah, I would get a hold of O'Neill.
We get over O'Neill, tell O'Neill to get us some money. Right? That's what we need to do. I'm gonna call him again and see in action. But I think that's exciting for us down south, and I appreciate you having me here, Mr. Harrell. And you've been here quite some time. How long you been having this show, Mr. Harrell?
Oh, it started with Boy Scouts, I guess, 30 years ago. So it's been very, very fruitful. I think I had, the last program I had was Jim Delahousie, which I grew up with in the swamps. You know, he's Dr. Jim Delahousie, real knowledgeable about the basin.
Well, I know you're supposed to be interviewing me, but I'm going to interview you for a little while, because there's new people probably listening in right now, and they probably want to know, who is Mr. Harrell Sharp? What did you do for a living, Mr. Harrell? I know, but they don't know. I could only guess you were a used car salesman. No, you had the best brand on the line right at the time, right?
Yeah.
Tell them, come on, tell them what you did.
Oh, I was a Cadillac dealer, you know, with me and my brothers. And my dad started the business in 1938, so but we were taken out when GM went bankrupt in '09. But the most thing, you know, we try to be friendly with our customers, you know, and that's the part we missed, you know, that we no longer even know these customers, you know.
The Cadillac business y'all had, was it where it was originally by the airport? Was it still there?
Yeah,
In Surrey, that's where y'all started out,
right,
1938?
Yeah. No. We started out, I guess the first place was by Four Corners, and then we went to Congress Street, right in town, and then we moved to between the throughways on Jefferson, and then we built the one where you referred to on Surrey.
The Surrey Street location.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have the Blair House used to be right there. It used to be good steak, right?
Yeah, right.
Yep, so you had high-end expensive steak, and then you had high-end Cadillacs, right?
Right, yeah.
What was, when you remember early on when you first started selling cars, what was the price of a Cadillac?
Around $5,000.
Whew.
When it got to 10,000, we got a big Fleetwood in that I sold to a friend of ours, and it was $10,800. And that was the first one that went over $10,000.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny though, you still see some operating, especially when you go to I know, like small towns like where I'm from, Abbeville, even you go to Franklin where your wife's from, you still see some of the old Cadillacs.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, we have one, a 76 convertible.
well, is it like Boss Hogg? It's got one of those horns on it?
No.
You don't have nothing like that?
No.
Well, we appreciate, I appreciate all the times you came to the Capitol when I was there as a senator. You came there, explained, and you were never afraid to voice your opinion on what side of the aisle you were on as far as it came to the environment. And I think it takes a lot of courage to do that, especially in the world we live now today. But you were always insightful and always gave us a lot of information. And you kind of remind me of Jay Campbell in a way.
Yeah.
He's like a walking encyclopedia. Like I can call him and he'll tell me, oh, this was in 19-something, or this was this day, this was this person, and he has it,
Jay's a good friend of mine. Over the years, we've worked with him a lot on different projects.
Well, I'll have to say this. I always ask Jay, I said, Jay, are you going to stop smoking? He says, no, Nick, I'm not going to start smoking. I said, why? He said, Every time I go to the doctor, my doctor would tell me, Jay, if you want to live a long time, you got to stop smoking. He said, but I'd go back to that doctor 5 years later, 10 years later, the doctor was dead. So he said, I'm still alive and they're dead, so I'm still going to smoke. So,
Yeah.
and I can't forget, we have a great office manager, Miss Cheryl Broussard, that works at the Port of Vermilion. You call there, she's a very delightful person. She'll get anything you need and any information you need. She's been with Jay since Jay was there, and she's been now at the port for 30-some-odd years also. So,
She's
like I
very,
said,
very friendly.
stability in the Abbeville Harbor and Terminal Board has, I think, paid dividends, and we look for the future growth of the Vermilion Parish as a whole and regionally, because most people don't realize those companies I named that are at the port, they do work regionally. They do work. Some of them do work for Department of Defense. Some of them do work for small companies, large companies, pipeline companies, fabricate, whatever they can do, they do, but it's regional. So it's not just in Vermilion Parish. They send their products all over. If there's a job that someone got a job in Texas and they need work done on a certain component, they'll do that component, then they'll ship it back to Texas for someone. So anyhow, so I appreciate you having me here.
So Nick, I looked at some of those projects and going to 2 meetings over there in Abbeville, I get the sense that they're very concerned mostly about storm surge.
Well, storm surge has always been the biggest thing in Vermilion Parish. I mean, if we don't solve really, you have storm surge, but the biggest thing also, if we don't solve the insurance crisis, which is wind and hail coverage, not even dealing with water. If we don't solve that, a legislature don't solve that problem, work with the insurance company to solve that problem, it's going to be tough to live in some of the rural areas where we live. I had less damage than people up north, but yet my insurance, I pay 3 times the amount of insurance, but I live in the same wind speed zone as everyone else that's in the same area where I'm at. If I live at 120, Gonzales is in 120, but they'll write insurance policy in Gonzales, but they won't write me at 120. I live in the northern portion of Vermilion Parish. Lafayette Parish dips down south of me. So the people that live south in South Lafayette Parish, I live by the Woodlawn Bridge, their insurance is cheaper than mine, but they live further south than me, so it just makes no sense at all. So
You on the west side or you on the east side?
I'm on the east side of the river. I'm on the Youngsville side of the river. So I live in a great location. It takes about 10 minutes to get to St. Thomas More, 15 minutes, 10 minutes to get to Youngsville. And, time is up, I guess, right?
No.
Or that means we got a minute left.
All right.
You need to stop that.
Are we doing it on time?
Yeah,
We're off?
you can close though.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick, for being here. You've enlightened us. And I'm proud to say that I think Vermilion Parish and the Port of Abbeville is good in your hands, is in good shape.
Well, thank you, Mr. Harrow. I appreciate it. And once again, I appreciate all the valuable information that you provided me as a legislator back then, and now you continue to do it. And most people don't know you don't get paid for it, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I had fun with the legislature with the black bear.
Oh, hey. Well, we could kill
I
a
think
few.
you
We could
and
kill
all
a few a year, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, you like that black bear license plate, though, don't you?
I have one on my truck.
There you go. I knew you would have one, but
But I filed the petition and the suits to make that happen.
well.
So anyway, we saved the black bear.